Hey friends, before you go on that green card, things are starting to get really interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green card? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, all right, come on in, guys. Type in freedom now, freedom now. It's late. It's almost 10:30 Eastern time. However, we have some very important breaking news. Tonight, President Trump signed several executive orders that touches on immigration. And McBean Immigration TV is all over it, okay? Woke up energized because I knew that today was the day that we were going to gather together with everyone else on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook, join in tonight to talk about the executive orders that President Trump signed. Here are some ground rules, guys. We're going to have a great time tonight. This is being moderated by two moderators, so I'm asking that you be respectful in the comments. We're here to empower and educate tonight only. If you come with your bullying or your bad vibes, just know that we will instantly remove you from tonight's live session. So please be respectful and allow other people to get the information that they're seeking tonight. Okay. Secondly, if you have immigration questions, I'm going to answer some questions at the very end. Okay. So you could hold on to your questions, but still keep commenting and engaging and sharing your thoughts. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to unpack, and it won't happen tonight. We're just going to touch on some highlights, and I'm going to get into birthright citizenship tonight in this session. Tomorrow, God willing, okay, I'll be back before you to break down the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So be patient. We're going to do this in a very systematic and thoughtful way. By the way, I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. Our contact information is scrolling. You'll see it above. Go ahead and contact the law office tomorrow or whenever you're able to book a paid consultation with an attorney at our firm or with me. So now with that being said, let's get right into it, okay? And subscribe also to my channel if you have not yet subscribed, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notice of my videos each week. If you're joining on Facebook, thank you. Facebook is alive and well. Share this with your feed so that other people can get some important immigration information tonight. Okay, so 6 significant, and my team, the attorneys, they're sending me stuff as well, which I cannot read right now. So 6 significant immigration, they're sending me stuff related to tonight's live session. 6 important immigration executive orders were signed tonight. There's the Birthright Citizenship executive order. Then there's one that ends catch and release. Then there's another one called Protecting the American People Against Invasion, and another one called Declaring a National Emergency at the Southern Border. And by the way, I'm going to pull up some of this for you momentarily. Then there's another one that touches on the refugee admissions program, which they're halting. And then there's another one called Protecting the United States from Foreign Terrorists and Other National Security and Public Safety Threats. Let's get into birthright citizenship, because I really think that that one is really significant in this moment. And then I'll go through the highlights of the other ones. Let's talk about birthright citizenship right now. We were expecting that President Trump would sign an executive order today, and this is the executive order right here. If you'd like to see the words on the screen to see the executive order as I go through them, certainly hop over to McBean Immigration TV, where you'll be able to see this information. But we were anticipating this, and effectively, really what it says is that if a baby is born, okay, this is not retroactive. It doesn't apply to those of you who are already alive, okay? If when a child is born in the United States going forward, that child needs to have at least a parent who is lawful here in the United States, either a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. Now, specifically, the executive order says this. It talks a little bit about the fact that the 14th Amendment has never been interpreted to extend citizenship universally to everyone born within the United States. The 14th Amendment has always excluded from birthright citizenship persons who were born in the U.S. but not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Consistent with this understanding, the Congress has further specified through legislation that a person born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof and I have my own thoughts about what that really means, but is a national and citizen of the United States, generally mirroring the 14th Amendment's text. And then it goes on to say this, that among the categories of individuals born in the United States and not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, the privilege of U.S. citizenship does not automatically extend to persons born in the U.S. when that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the father was not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder at the time of the child's birth, or when that person's mother's presence in the United States, the mother was lawful here. She was on a visa, like, for instance, the work visa, student visa, or a tourist visa. She was here lawfully in the United States on one of these temporary visas. But the father was not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder at the time of the child's birth. So if you enter the United States, this is the scenario that they're looking at here. If you enter the United States on either the visa waiver program or on a student visa, work visa, or a tourist visa, and you have a baby here and the father is not a citizen or a green card holder, well, that child is not going to be considered a U.S. citizen anymore. And what they're targeting here, of course, is like tourist birthism, right? That's what they call it. And so who does this policy, the policy applies to just anyone, any mother having a baby here and she doesn't have papers here in the United States, or she's lawful here for just that moment in time without the green card holder or U.S. citizen father, it applies to you, right? And it says that the policy of the United States, it is the policy of the U.S. government that no department or agency of the U.S. government shall issue documents recognizing U.S. citizenship, okay, to that child, or accept documents issued by state, local, or other governments or authorities purporting to recognize United States citizenship to persons when, again, that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the person's father was not a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. You guys get the point. Then it goes on to say that this applies to persons who are born within the United States after 30 days from today. Okay. So then it says here that nothing in this order shall be construed to affect the entitlement of other individuals, including children of green card holder parents, to obtain documentation of U.S. citizenship. So if you're a green card holder and you have child here, you're fine. So this is the Birthright Citizenship executive order that is sure to spark immediate attention and lawsuit. There's going to be litigation, and you guys have heard me mention this before, that this is the trigger that the Trump administration is looking for to send this all the way up to the US Supreme Court, not to do this legislatively. Yes, most likely someone in the Senate may introduce similar a legislation that says something like, let's amend the US Constitution, let's amend the 14th Amendment, and go through that lengthy, difficult process, which won't work. That's not what they're trying to do here. They're trying to go directly through litigation to the US Supreme Court, which is where this issue is likely going. So this is the biggest one that was introduced tonight, ending birthright citizenship. This is not going to be an overnight process, the litigation. It's going to take maybe years. You can read what other experts are saying, but years is what they're predicting. If you're joining on TikTok, thank you very much for being with me. Double tap the screen so that TikTok will share this good information with many others. Thank you. Now, so that's birthright citizenship, guys. President Trump wants to end birthright citizenship. Now, what else is on the plate? Let's talk about the second one, which is really focusing on ending catch and release. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that policy, in a nutshell, what you've been seeing over the past several years really is a catch and release policy. Individuals who are attempting to illegally enter the United States, they encounter Border Patrol and they go through a very maybe small process at the border, and then they're allowed into the United States, but it is still considered illegal entry, and it's called catch and release. Now, this is in the Securing Our Borders. I'll just pull that up briefly. I'm not going to go through it because it's really, it's long. Okay, I'll go through it systematically with you this week. I don't know if this is the second one I'll tackle. We'll see tomorrow. But this is Securing Our Borders. And in a nutshell, what this one does is it focuses on reinstating the migrant protection protocols that President Trump had in place before he left office. It ends catch and release policies. It enforces stricter parole guidelines and prosecution of crimes like human trafficking and smuggling and some other things. Then you have the other executive order called Protecting the American People Against Invasion. Okay, against invasion. Let's see if I could get this one on the screen. Okay, here it is. Sorry, guys. I know it looks a little whack on YouTube, but bear with me, okay? Protecting the American people against invasion. You might be saying, whoa, invasion, that's really strong. That's like strong language. What in the world are they talking about here? Well, we're gonna go into it another day, but the key provisions are about detaining and removing or deporting more aliens, more immigrants, creating a Homeland Security task force to combat criminal activities, and to prioritize prosecuting various immigration offenses. It also includes things like collecting fines and sanctions on countries that do not cooperate with the United States. Like if the United States is trying to deport someone and that country says, we don't want them back, we don't know them. We don't know them. They're not our citizen, or no, we don't want the bad ones back. So there will be sanctions and fines against those countries who do not want to take back their citizens. And then there's some other stuff in there. We'll go into greater details maybe tomorrow. The next one is declaring a national emergency at the southern border. Declaring a national, where is that one? Okay, here it is right here. Declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States. And this one focuses on criminal cartels, gangs, human traffickers, and illicit narcotics. It it says that it wants to use the military, invoke military support for the Department of Homeland Security to regain control of the border, including deploying personnel, expanding physical barriers, and doing more aerial surveillance and things like that. And the whole goal and strategy certainly is to prevent the unauthorized entry of individuals. There's a lot in that one as well. I'll break it down for you another day. Then there's another one, guys, about the refugee admissions program. Let's see, where can I find that? I think this is it right here. Realigning the United States refugee program, and it suspends the program. It suspends it until they go through some sort of evaluation. So there's that. That's what that one does. And then the last one that we saw tonight, they've been very, very slow to roll things out. That's why I'm here before you so late. All day it was like, oh God, stop talking already, President Trump. Just give us what we're waiting on. We were all waiting on this, but it was very slow. Most likely there will be a lot more changes with immigration that you and I will be speaking about over the coming days, weeks, and months. But for now, this is what we have. The last one is called Protecting the United States from Foreign Terrorists and Other National Security and Public Safety Threats. I think this is the second one. Yeah, that's this one right here. Okay. And so this one, guys, if you're out there and you're going through a consular process, a U.S. embassy process, um, this is heavy stuff here, okay? Because what this one is talking about is improving the vetting. This is extreme vetting. They're going to be screening and vetting in a way that that wasn't happening during the Biden years. It says they're going to enhance national security by improving the vetting and screening of individuals seeking entry into the United States, particularly those from high-risk countries or regions. I did not see a travel ban tonight, although I did not read every word. I did not see any travel ban, and you guys know if there was a travel ban, CNN would be all over it. New York Times, Washington Post, everyone would be all over that, right? I did not see that tonight. But this vetting that they're talking about here will be very intense. It says that it mandates a thorough review of visa and immigration processes to ensure that only individuals who do not pose a security threat are admitted into the United States. They're going to go through a very deep review here of things with information sharing with foreign nations, like what happened. You remember Nigeria? Any Nigerians on tonight? Do you remember that Nigeria ban? I talked about it years ago. Okay. And that was all connected to this whole idea of information sharing. Nigeria is not really sharing the systems. There's some terrorist, speculation in certain parts of Nigeria, and there's no information sharing. Therefore, we're going to have a travel ban on Nigeria. So anyway, that's what this kind of reminded me about, right? This gaps in information sharing with foreign nations. So that is why I told you guys on Saturday during my little walk that you should return to the United States because of this right here, the vetting and the screening that will be going on abroad. And it's going to make it more difficult for individuals to get a visa to come into the United States through a family process, through an employment process, just more red tape, okay, that you'll have to go through. A lot more documentation will be required of you to prove some things in order to be approved of a visa. So that's what that is. And I'll get into more details about that one now on another day. Each day this week, I'm going to be diving into an executive order to go into great details. With that being said, guys, that's what I have for you tonight. I'm going to ask my team something here. And while I do this, certainly Happy to answer your questions. Just give me a moment. Um, anything else? Question mark. Uh, anything else? Okay. Now let's keep going. All right. Thank you guys. So if you're just joining, welcome. We're talking about the several executive orders that President Trump signed tonight. There was also another one that he signed that's called initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions, in which he basically rolled back pretty much everything. It looks like that Biden, a lot of different executive orders that Biden had in place about a number of things. We're still sifting through this because I see immigration here on the list, revision of civil immigration enforcement policies and priorities, just a lot of executive orders that Biden had in place. They're gone now, rescinded, gone. And the immigration ones, I will break down for you once we get more information, okay? So guys, type in freedom now, and let's see if I can answer some questions. Someone says, if President Trump and the birthright citizenship, what about babies of those women whose case is pending? So, Jim, what you should understand is this, that birthright citizenship cannot end via executive order. President Trump actually doesn't have the authority and powers to end it. This will be challenged immediately. So let's say, for instance, a woman gives birth to, what is it, 30 days after this takes effect, because again, this birthright citizenship applies to babies born. Let's get the exact language here in front of me. Give me a second here. 30 days. Let's see if I could pull this up on this other screen here. Guys, I have so much in front of me right now on my screen. Let's go back to this. I want to read the exact language, okay? This section shall only apply to persons who are born within the United States after 30 days. So if a child is born after 30 days and that child is still a US citizen, this is going to be tied up immediately in litigation, okay? Immediately in litigation. All right, let's keep going. Because again, he doesn't have the authority to end it in this manner. It's a constitutional issue, and only the US Supreme Court can take on a constitutional issue, okay? Someone says, I'm worried that the K-1 visa process will be suspended for my fiance's country. Let's wait and see, right? Because I've just shared with you that there are some foreign countries here that they're concerned about, right? This whole information sharing and other things like that, and increase of vetting and all of that. It's just very familiar. We've been down here before, and so we know that a travel ban is coming. I'm not sure what country your girlfriend is in, but we know that the first Trump term targeted folks from Muslim majority countries. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Okay, let's go back. Let's go over here. Will the J1 be harder to get? I think any visa, I should say visa will be more challenging to get over the next 4 years based on the increased vetting and more documentation and just the red tape and the hassle and the delays, right? They frustrate what they were so good at during the first term was frustrate the immigration process, slow things down. Things that they couldn't get rid of right away, their strategy was just, let's frustrate it, let's slow it down. And it worked the first time, okay? double tap the screen on TikTok if you're enjoying tonight's live session. Someone asked, is Yemen going to be part of this again? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. I'm not certain on that. I don't have tonight. Tonight, there is no news about any particular ban that's attached to any country. Okay. What's this? That was just sent to me. I can't read that now. Literally, that's what I'm saying. Can't read that now. Okay. She understands. It's too many words. I can't do that. Thank you guys. Thank you for that. Thank you guys. Is it safe to travel outside of the country with a pending I-751 petition? Someone is asking, and that's the removal of conditions. This person has a 2-year green card, and she's in the or I believe I don't know, is in the process of applying for the 10-year green card. It's fine to travel for now, right? But like I said a few days ago, I wouldn't stay outside of the United States very long, okay? Also, if you have a criminal record, certainly speak with an immigration lawyer before you travel, before you leave the country, including you green card holders. You green card holders who have a criminal record, speak with a lawyer before traveling. Thank you. Double tap the screen, guys. Has the Laken Riley Act passed with the DREAM Act amendment? Not yet. Senator Durbin introduced an amendment to exempt, first of all, DACA holders and dreamers from the Laken Riley Act. And then the other part of there's another amendment that would create a pathway to lawful status, permanent lawful status for dreamers, and that has not passed yet. Okay. Thank you. Double tap the screen. Is DACA going to be removed? I heard that Texas took it to court. So I did a video specifically about DACA on Friday night, a live session. It's also published everywhere it's also on TikTok. So go watch that. There is a very important update about DACA that came out of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals that ruled that DACA is unlawful, and what President Biden tried to do in 2022 to fortify it and strengthen it and all of that, they found those actions illegal or unlawful. Let's keep going. Freedom Now, guys. Type in Freedom Now, particularly if you're on YouTube. Type in Freedom Now, Freedom Now. Seen a lot of questions about DACA. Guys, please go watch my latest update about DACA, okay? Thank you, thank you. Freedom Now. Is the COVID vaccine requirement gone? I have not seen anything tonight in any executive order that covered anything related to getting rid of that. I don't know if they're going to do that. It's still in effect, okay? It's still a requirement. Okay. Let's see, let's keep going. All right, let's see what you guys have to say on Instagram. Who exactly is illegal and undocumented immigrant? So that's not really a question that I think is really that productive right now, honestly, because if you're here in the United States and you're not a permanent resident, and you're out of status, you came in maybe with a visa and you have nothing now right now to rest on. You're still, some would say you're illegal. If you enter the United States without papers, without entry, without inspection, some would say you're illegal. To me, it's all the same. Honestly, it's all the same. It's either you have your papers or not. Okay, that's just how I view it. I know that other lawyers will try to make it more sophisticated than that, but I don't find that to be very productive. Okay, how about PD status? Prosecutorial discretion cases. So prosecutorial discretion, like I said, I did not, I'll go through each and every one of these executive orders more specifically with you in the coming days. PD, a lot of the Biden policies, by executive order, were rescinded tonight. I'm going to go through and have a deeper dive to see if any of those the immigration ones, touch on PD, prosecutorial discretion. Okay, but we know that the first Trump administration had basically really almost got rid of prosecutorial discretion, and we're expecting that that's going to happen again. Okay, but the big news tonight certainly is around birthright citizenship. The fact that he's trying to end birthright citizenship through executive order. Double tap the screen, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you. On YouTube, just know that obviously you can go back and watch the beginning where I covered a summary of each of the executive orders. And we're still watching the website to see if they will ever publish more, right, than what they've already released to the public. Let's see. Does the president have the power to recognize his citizens? I'm not sure what you mean by recognize his citizens. The president, Tina, this particular president is going to exceed his powers. Okay? He's going to do it. He is going to do whatever he can to go as far as he can. That's him. Okay? And so there's checks and balances. There's Congress. I know that some of you might say, oh, but he has Congress in his back pocket. And you saw how they were all like, today you saw everybody was drooling over him. And it's just, oh my God, we're all doomed. There's no checks and balances, not even with the courts. So, I still think that there is checks and balances because there are some reasonable senators out there, even Republican senators, who want to use their own mind and thinking, and they don't, they have a certain line that they would go to. So those people are there to protect, to stop the executive from going way, way, way beyond his powers. And then certainly there's the people, right? There's litigation, there's a process in place to fight against any overreach. But yes, he will exceed and go very, very far because he's just not afraid to do that. Okay. Particularly this time around. I have not seen a travel ban tonight, okay, in any of the executive orders that were published. Thank you. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Let's see. Someone says that I'm under order of supervision, was deported, but they put me in that position because of my disability. I'm not sure. You mean that you were ordered removed, deported, but you're still here under ICE's supervision because of your disability. Now, I'm glad that Mr. Brooks has brought this to our attention, and I'm going to do a standalone video on this topic about things that you can argue in the event that you're detained by ICE and you would like to stay in America, and maybe even under their supervision. So ICE spoke with, on Friday in a live session, I mentioned to you guys some of the factors that ICE is looking for to keep you here or to release you from their detention. And some humanitarian and significant health issues were discussed on Friday. But I'll do a standalone video for you guys about that so that you'll know how they think about it and what they will be looking for to make the decision about whether to release you from detention, okay? So that standalone video is on my to-do list. Thank you. Double tap the screen on TikTok. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you. Thank you. What about those with pending asylum cases? So you should be fine. You have a right to allow your asylum case to go through the process, okay? Thank you. Let's see. Four immigration officials were fired. We actually also reported out on that on Instagram and Facebook. Yes, today, four top officials at the Executive Office of for Immigration Review (EOIR), which is the immigration court system, what they were fired. They were fired, and that's a normal thing. You know, that's normal when a new administration comes into office and they would like to have their people make the decisions, make the policies, and oversee everything. Now, that tells me obviously that the immigration appeals process, if you're in the immigration removal process, and then the appeals after you've been issued a removal order, it's going to be a tough process because they're putting their people in place right now to oversee all of that. They're very serious about the removal process. And of course, they're going to most likely come out with strategies to try to speed things up, efficiency, because they want to get people out, right? And so they will have policies that will effectively try to force the judges to manage their dockets in a certain way. For instance, they could say, again, they did this before, judges, we do not want you to grant any adjournments. Do not grant extensions, adjournments. Don't do that. It just drags things out and it keeps these people here, right? That's the thinking. So policies like that will be coming down from the Executive Office for Immigration Review. So those people were fired to make room for people who will put in place policies like those. Okay, freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Freedom now. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your gifts on TikTok. I would, YouTube, thank you also. Thank you. Freedom now. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Someone says that I've been living in the US for 20 years and I have a citizen wife and two children who are US citizens. I currently have an immigration case, I-131. Has anything that Trump signed will impact my case? Now, I mentioned earlier that there were a whole lot of executive orders and policies from Biden that were rescinded today, which means they're gone. They're no good anymore. And so I'll be diving into the immigration ones to see how they will impact cases, not cases that are on our docket at our firm. And then I'll be able to certainly report out how it will impact you. Just know, generally speaking, that they're going to attempt to slow down and frustrate the immigration process for those inside the US and those outside of the US. With the extreme vetting, the more documentation, it's going to be, they try to make it more burdensome. And the people who work at USCIS, they have a job to do, and that job is to look at your application and make a decision on it. However, if policymakers say things like, we need to change these rules and require more documents about whatever the situation is, whatever the case is, well, that makes the officer's job, the OSI's job, all the more difficult. And I wouldn't want that job looking at all that paperwork. It's going to be really grueling for them. And then for you too, right? You have to have all these documents to submit to immigration. So it's going to be they're going to frustrate the process. That's the goal, and slow it down. Thank you. Let's see. What do I think about EB1 cases? Do you think those cases will be affected? With Elon Musk at his side, seeking, more foreign workers who are the best and the brightest, and talent and all of that foreign talent, and they're trying to create more opportunities, work opportunities for highly skilled foreign workers. It's really hard to say that EB1 will be negatively impacted. I just don't know that yet. I'm still trying to get clarity on how they're thinking about highly skilled foreign workers. They've been um, contradictory on that particular issue. Same thing with national interest waiver. Okay, I put you in that same category. All right. Thank you. What about TPS? I did not see anything tonight that drew my attention that touched on TPS. Okay, but I do know, generally speaking, from the rhetoric from the campaign trail, that TPS, temporary protected status, is not something that they support. Biden, however, extended TPS for 4 countries and 4 countries alone until the end of 2026. Um, Trump, President Trump, we'll see what he does with TPS for certain countries. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Uh, J1 holders, I'm getting a lot of questions about J1s, um, work visa, right? So with the J1, I just categorize it under temporary visa. Folks who need to go to a US embassy for an interview. Extreme vetting is coming your way, okay? Extreme vetting based on the executive or one of these executive orders that we will talk about this week. It's coming, okay? What is expected to happen to family-based filings? Family-based filings, I expect that they will require more. Most likely, they're going to try to deny more cases and request more documents, more requests for evidence, notice of intent to denies. That's how they did it the first time around. It's just they just make it harder for families to get through, but you could still get through. We will still be filing a lot of cases. I'm not sure what's going on Instagram. I think I might have touched the wrong thing. I probably did, right? To have some sort of weird filter just appeared. My apologies for that. So for family cases, they most likely they're gonna try to deny more cases, but we will be filing a lot of cases and getting the work done for our clients. All right. Now is the time, obviously, right? This is a plug. I'm going to put a plug in here because a whole lot of people are watching tonight. When you're filing an immigration case going forward, really make sure that you're doing it the right way. Number one, to avoid rejections and denials. And then number two, be sure to file a case that you're qualified for, you're eligible for. Now is not the time to get creative and just say, okay, I'm just going to see. Well, this is not the administration that you'd want to do that with, okay? So get your case looked at by an immigration lawyer before you file. If you have a criminal record, I would caution you to absolutely work with a lawyer before you think about applying for citizenship in particular. All right, be very careful under this particular administration. Can someone who has a VAWA application pending be considered undocumented immigrant? Where's all of this coming from, by the way? Is it some group that's talking about the distinction between undocumented? You have no you don't have lawful status in the United States. You don't have the green card yet. That's all. Just think about that. That's it, right? You're on your way, thankfully, to the green card. Don't get caught up in all of that other stuff, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, let's go. Someone is asking a question about an old deportation order. Why is it that I now see a lot of people with old deportation orders, they have a work permit? Well, someone with a removal order could very well have a work permit because they have TPS, temporary protected status. something like that is going on, or if they're considered an arriving alien and they've applied for a green card to USCIS, they could have one that way. Thank you, guys. Any updates with naturalization? No, not at this time. What about TPS for Venezuelans? I feel like he'll put a travel ban there. Yeah, he doesn't like Venezuela, okay? There's no debate in that one, right? So I don't know if TPS for Venezuela is really going to stick around. We'll have to see. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Hang in there, guys. Those of you who are. I'm going to have to fix this app here. Please don't. Let's see. Let's keep going. Anything about asylum seekers? No. Yes, Ebony, we've talked about birthright citizenship. We dived into that executive order tonight. But like I said, it just does not end birthright citizenship. It's not going to be over just like that. It's going to take years for the court to figure that issue out, for it to make its way up to the courts. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, guys. Is it still safe to travel with advanced parole? I have DACA. So I think that um, I think that with the way things are going, that if you need that lawful entry on your record and you have a 3 or 5 day trip to make, that you've got to really make it immediately and get back into the United States, okay? I'm still waiting for more information from them about what directives they're going to give to TSA about this or that, and then certainly to customs. Guys, what we have tonight is just like big picture stuff. The details, the nitty-gritty, that's to come, okay? That's to come. And when they come, they will come like this: a memo, a policy memo to USCIS addressing this issue, a policy memo from the State Department addressing that other issue, or a travel ban to this country or these countries for various reasons. That's how it's going to then trickle down to the nitty gritty, the details that will make sense to you. Tonight is only big picture issues that we're talking about here, okay? All right. Let's see. Again, DACA, I have, maybe we could share the link. Brianna, I think we need to share the link to the DACA live session that I've posted. Did we post it on YouTube? Uh, if not, we've got to get it up. I think we have a short for YouTube that we shared with you guys with the DACA update. We're going to post that link so that all you DACA holders, please watch that so that you'll get that important update I shared from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals a few nights ago. Thank you. Oh, let's see. Noor says, I have an I-130 that's been approved, but I've had a deportation order since 2006. Will I still be able to do the I-485? So, Noor, I don't know if you have an attorney who might have already looked at your background and advised you that if you enter the United States lawfully with a visa and you overstayed, that you will not be able to do the I-485 until your removal case is reopened and that and then terminated, so that USCIS can then have jurisdiction over you. But if you're considered an arriving alien, you can do the I-485 application to USCIS, and USCIS can in fact approve a green card for you, even though you have a deportation order. So you should have a lawyer. You could, if you would like to speak with us about that, we'll look into your background and advise you one-on-one, okay? The main priority, just a reminder, the main priority for deportation, guys, again, are individuals with a criminal record, a serious criminal record. Number one, criminal aliens is like at the top of the list because there are over 600,000. I shared the data with YouTube a few days ago. There's over 600,000 who ICE knows about, and those individuals are not detained currently. So they're really looking for those people. And then secondly, those with a removal order. There's over 1 million people with a removal order in the United States who are still here. And then thirdly, I have I'm grouping it into everyone into this group. The third group, those who recently arrived in the United States during the Biden years, either through that CB1 app or, catch and release at the border, or even those paroled in. The Trump administration does not see any of those types of entries as legal, and they don't like it. And it was a lot of people, so they're looking, I think, for individuals under those categories. Now, there's only 42,000 beds, detention beds, okay? So you guys do the math. How could they possibly detain so many people when they don't really have the beds for? I told someone today this in a consultation. I had a consultation at the office, even though we were closed today. But I was there because I had to, I had to be there. And I said, you have a clean background. You've never been arrested. They're not looking for you. Why would they take you and put you in one of their detention centers to sleep in a bed when there are 600,000 criminal aliens who they are looking for, that they know about? It just doesn't make sense. So they're prioritizing who they're going after. Tom Homan also said recently, yesterday, that they are going to be doing targeted raids, targeted. Not like, oh, we're ICE is just going to show up on Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York, and just randomly look around and say, oh, she looks undocumented. He looks like an immigrant. Oh, let's just round up all these people who are at the supermarket, right? No, he said, no, it's going to be targeted, which means that they know your name, they know your location, and you're the one that they're specifically looking for. That's what they've said. Let's see what happens, okay? Chicago is on the list, along with several other sanctuary cities as far as raids are concerned. What do I think about the chief of DHS? At this point, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who's at the head here because Tom Homan is clearly the decision maker. You can't have him and then you have a DHS secretary. What is this, right? Who's making the decisions here, right? It doesn't make any sense. He's the decision maker, I think, but maybe he couldn't get through Congress, right? I don't think he could have passed the hearing. He could have been, I don't think so. So they have someone else, and she's like a figurehead. I don't know. We'll see, right? That's just my opinion. You asked what my opinion is, right? So I think he's going to be the one calling the shots about all of this. Let's see. What happens if a removal proceedings has been dismissed? That's a good thing. You're no longer in their system, the court system, so to speak. They're not coming after you to look to deport you. Hopefully, you are on track for a green card through USCIS somehow. That's a good thing. Guys, let me know where you're watching from tonight. Just type in your city and your state. I'll be reviewing comments tomorrow. Let's see. And we have our phone number scrolling. Thank you for putting that in there for me, Brianna. Can ICE or the police stop you without a reason? They're not supposed to, right? They're not supposed to. They need to have some degree of reasonable suspicion to stop you, um, right? But we all know what we know. This is America, and these things do happen that shouldn't happen. So, watch my video on knowing your rights. I covered that in details last week about what you should do if ICE arrests you or stops you on the street or in your car. Watch that video called ICE Raids, and we're going to put a link to it here on YouTube in the chat. And knowing your rights. Okay. We also have a free guide on knowing your rights. You do have some constitutional rights that you really need to know that you have. So download our free guide. We'll put that link here as well. We have so much, guys, we have a lot of resources, free resources for you. Really tap in and spend the time knowing what your rights are. Thank you for watching the videos at a minimum, obviously. Did I speak on VAWA? I touched on VAWA earlier, and I said that with respect to VAWA, that individual is on track for a green card. Hopefully you are as well. And, you know, if you have a case pending with USCIS, generally speaking, you're not at risk as far as targeted the attention of ICE. I was going to say targeted enforcement, but that just sounded too wordy for 11:30 at night. Okay. Thank you, guys. It's so good to see the wonderful, friendly faces, the usual here on McBean Immigration TV. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. Thank you, thank you for that. Freedom Now. Now, what can happen if every country boycott America for 4 years? No trade, travel, or anything? This good question. Not something that I'm going to be thinking about tonight, right? But that won't happen. Thank you. Thank you also for the thumbs down, the 10 thumbs down that I have there. Thank you. I appreciate your engagement to share this video everywhere and let it be trending tonight on Google. Thank you. Freedom now, freedom now, freedom now, freedom now. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Yes, Abby. Abby spends that time writing it out. Abby, I chuckle every time I see that. Thank you. She spends the time writing freedom now, freedom now, freedom now, like 10 times. That's cute. Guys, listen, I told you last year things are about to get really serious with immigration, and we're here, okay? We're here together. We'll be breaking it down for you. Lots of live sessions. This is a family thing. We're in this thing together. Do not fear. I shared with you this morning. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Okay? Hold on to that. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Now is the time to believe, okay? And get educated, work with a trusted immigration attorney. We obviously cannot work with everyone, okay? So just know that we're doing this obviously because we're running a business, right? And I'm marketing, but I'm also going the extra mile because I really feel empowered to do this for you, okay? Because you need to understand the law. Now is not the time to be ignorant. So just stay plugged in, subscribe to our newsletter, go to mcbeanlaw.com/subscribe, and just follow along, follow everything in the stories on Instagram and go to and TikTok and Facebook. Just follow and just get empowered because our team is working extremely hard behind the scenes for our clients. They are up late at night just really killing it, right? Even ICE was working late at night for one of our cases over the weekend at 12:30 in the morning. We got a PD request sent to us, signed, San Diego ICE field office, 12:30 Friday night. They sent that and we were like, wow. So they're not all bad people behind the scenes working for the government. These are career people. They are passionate about what they're doing. And just know that if you work with a credible attorney, make sure that attorney prepares your case properly. It's going to go into regular people in the departments, right? Regular people. And some of them really do want to help you. Just know that. So, guys, hang in there. I'll be back before you tomorrow to talk about the second executive order that you should really understand very well. And I'll just be rolling it out for you like this. So please follow and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notice of these videos each week. I'm going to sign off now. And I thank you so much for being with me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.